In this lesson, you'll learn how to use leading lines to draw your viewer's attention to the main subject of your images. This is another compositional technique that can advance your photography skills. With leading lines, we're literally talking about lines that you see in your image. It could be a paved road that draws your attention to something in the distance. It could be placing your subject on the top of a mountain so all of the lines in that mountain range point towards your subject. It could be the petals of a flower pointing to its center. These lines create depth and connect what's distant to what's in the foreground of your photo. They can be man-made, such as roads, fences, bridges, lampposts, doorways, and windows. Or they can be natural, like rivers, waves, trees, shadows, or sun rays. The way that you use these lines is by arranging your composition so the lines lead towards something. That could be to a subject, or even just to the distant abyss. This also reminds me of another compositional technique of framing objects within your photo's frame. This could literally mean putting your subject in a window frame or photographing something in the distance through the frame of a window or door. Or it could be using natural lines in your image to create a frame around your subject. With all of this, the goal is to direct your viewer's attention to the subject, to give them more prominence. Let's go out and try to find a natural composition with leading lines. All right, here's a great example of leading lines that we found here at the park where we're shooting some of the demonstrations. We've got this canopy over these picnic benches, and there's lots of lines going on, both in the picnic benches and also the bars, the beams that are holding up this canopy. So they're all leading towards the playground behind, which I think is really cool. So I'm gonna get down here, frame up, tilt up just a little bit to capture all of these lines just going out into the distance. In this shot, I'm framing out the picnic benches actually. I took two shots, one with the picnic benches in the foreground, and then I tilted up just so I could see the lines from the beams and just the very far picnic bench at the end, which I think is a better composition. And it's a great example of how you can use lines just around your environment to direct your viewer's attention to part of your frame. And with all of these techniques, you may be wondering, Phil, are photographers really thinking about this when shooting, or is it just accidental? When out shooting, a lot of this might be a happy accident. But with time, if you keep thinking about these tips when out shooting, you'll gravitate naturally towards photographing scenes and compositions using these techniques. So leading lines and framing are two more techniques to add to your photographer's toolkit.